learners. Earlier this year, you studied the literary language that authors use, and this chart is just a reminder of those strategies that we looked at. The first one was to pay attention to the special language. Notice, reread, then you keep it in your brain, and then you can think about it at the end. The other strategy was when two things are compared, we think about how they are alike. So, let's say we are comparing a carpet to a peach. You would say the carpet is as fuzzy as a peach, and you think about how they're alike. Well, they're both fuzzy. So that is a comparison when you compare two things. And then another strategy was figure out what playful language really means. The author has a purpose for using that language, so figuring out what does that mean. And again, that was a review of some of the strategies that we've already learned. So here is my question. Have you been seeing any of this in your series books that you have been reading? So today I want to teach you that when readers study an author's craft, which we talked about in the past two lessons, they pay attention to the words that an author has used. So readers notice the ways in which authors use words to make even a simple, ordinary thing be extraordinary. And they wonder, what does the author really mean? So the important thing really for you to notice is that an author can take a plain old regular thing and choose just the right words to make it sound extraordinary or amazing. So I'm going to give you two examples. That way you know what you're looking for in your book that you are reading. My examples are coming from the book called Julian's World, the stories Julian tells, which some of you might have read this year with your teacher. But I'm going to read the first 2 pages anyway if you have not read it yet. That way you still understand the context and what's going on in the story. So here we go. I'm going to read the first 2 pages for you. And the title of chapter 1 is The Pudding Like a Night on the Sea. Here we go. I'm going to make something special for your mother, my father said. My mother was out shopping. My father was in the kitchen, looking at the pots and the pans and the jars of this and that. What are you going to make? I said. A pudding, he said. My father is a big man with wild black hair. When he laughs, the sun laughs in the window panes. When he thinks, you can almost see his thoughts sitting on all the tables and chairs. When he is angry, me and my little brother, Huey, shiver to the bottom of our shoes. What kind of pudding will you make? Huey said. A wonderful pudding, my father said. It will taste like a whole raft of lemons. It will taste like a night on the sea. Then he took down a knife and sliced 5 lemons in half. He squeezed the first one. Juice squirted in my eye. I'm going to stop right there because there were already a few examples just in those 2 pages. So those are some of the ones we're going to look at today. Here is my first example. So listen to the sentence. When he laughs, the sun laughs in the window panes. Now tell me something. Did the sun really laugh? No, of course not. But the author wanted to show us. So tell me something. Did the sun really laugh? No, of course not. But the author, she wanted us to know what it felt like when the father laughed. So she compared his laughter to the bright sun. Now, this next example, I'm not going to give you the answer right away. I want to see if you can notice the literary language that she used in this sentence. So listen to the sentence. When he thinks, you can almost see his thoughts sitting on all the tables and chairs. So, what is she trying to show? What does this really mean? Go ahead and pause the video and think. Okay, so as I was thinking as well, I think that the author is trying to show that Julian and Huey's father is really thoughtful. He not only laughs hard, like the sun, as bright as the sun, but he also thinks hard too. Do you agree? So the author didn't use just ordinary words like, here's what the sentence could have been. Dad thought about really important things for a long time. Nope, she wrote it like this. When he thinks, you can almost see his thoughts sitting on all the tables and chairs. How extraordinary. So, readers, as you go off to read, you will want to study the language the author uses. Pay special attention to the words the author chose, especially when the author is comparing two things. So when you see any extraordinary language in your book, you can jot it down on a post-it note or a piece of paper or try to really remember it in your brain. And think, what does this really mean? What does the author want to show? So my guess is that as you read not just one book in your series, but all the books in your series, you are going to see these things in many of those books. You may not have seen one yet, but you have more books to read, so you might see one soon. So let me show you the directions for what you are going to do next. And the first two sentences is already what I just said. So you're studying the language the author uses and really pay attention to the words that author chose, especially when they're comparing two things. So you may continue reading the book that you are still on, or you may choose the next book, another book in your series. And while you're reading, jot it down or remember any spot where the author used extraordinary language. And I want you to upload 1 or 2 examples to Padlet where the author used that special language. And that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and everyone's still staying safe and healthy. Bye.